Hey everybody, I just wanted to make this quick video to go over some surprisingly useful bugs slash interactions. I don't know which one I should call them really, because I've had times where I thought something was a bug and then a dev told me it was intended, and I've had times where I thought something was intended and it was actually not intended, thereby making it a bug. But either way, regardless of what you want to call these, I've got 3 interactions to show you right here. And for the first one, let's just jump right into them. These are actually pretty useful in your games. This one, for Dehaka, I find is like really big brain, and it kind of scales based on how well the enemy team communicates. This is something that we were thinking about using back when I was playing Heroes of the Dorm. We were thinking about doing this, let me just get these out of the way, to confuse enemy teams with their communications. So with Dehaka, I assume this one is intended, but either way, it's actually a really useful interaction. So we all know as Dehaka, you can Z from a bush to another bush. And so instead of having a mount, this is how he can get around the map very instantly. But actually, if you Z within your own hitbox, it's like I'm going to do it right on the edge right here, then you get no Z cooldown. It actually refreshes once you get there. And so you notice how I have the cooldown for a second, and then I don't. And then I'm going to try and do it like a pixel outside of my hitbox, maybe like 3 pixels, a few. And then I should get the full cooldown, I believe. Yep, see? It did not refund at all. So then you might be like, well, Mockery, how is this useful at all? And the answer is that Dehaka's Brush Stalker has this really, really loud audio cue, as I'm sure you just heard a second ago. And so what you can actually do is, like, let's say you went back to base or something like that and you're coming back, or maybe you're rotating back into your lane, and you're rotating back into your lane, you Z into the bush without having the enemy laner see you, and then you walk out of the bush. And so now the enemy laner is communicating to his team, hey guys, Dehaka doesn't have Z. He just Z'd back to lane. You guys can fight down there in the bottom lane. Up here in top lane, Dehaka just Z'd back in. He doesn't have it. And then, you know, the enemy team, they might go and take a fight, and maybe they won't, but that's going to inform their decision making. And then, you know, you're over here doing whatever, and they start fighting over a camp, and all of a sudden, aha, you actually do have your Z. So I call this the Dehaka Fakeout. Personally, that's just like my own little name for it. I like see nobody use this trick ever. A lot of people aren't even aware that it's a thing, but I definitely think it has some potential. And then going into some more ones, I have 3 total for you right now. There's another one that I really, really like. It's kind of insane, and this one is from Medivh. This one is also usable from level 1, just like the Dehaka Fakeout. Actually, all the tricks that I have for you right now are going to be usable from level 1. But this one necessitates that you pick Portal Mastery. And so right here, I'm going to go ahead. For anybody who doesn't know how Portal Mastery works, it basically lets you manually place both sides of the portal, and you can also portal from bird form. So like, say for example, if I normally cast portal like this, then it only goes to my E, or like if I normally press it with E, then it only goes to wherever my cursor is, and one of the sides has to spawn under my body if I don't go Portal Mastery. But if I do go Portal Mastery, then I can do like one over there, and do this all entirely in bird form without breaking it, not on my body. Super useful talent in general, right? Well, what you can actually do, let me get these minions out of here, just not distracting. What you can actually do is you can go ahead and set this down right here, and your teammates can actually see this indicator. This says, hey, Medivh has pressed portal using Portal Mastery right here, and he's going to press another one. So you can go ahead and set that down. And you can cross the entire map all the way over to the other side, and boop, finish that portal right there. I'm completely on the other side of the tri-mode map. No gimmicks. It's not just because I have toggle cooldowns on or anything like that. Here, look, I'll go do it right here. Turn off toggle cooldowns. Easily out of range. Boom. That is a very, very useful gimmick, especially if you've got your team on board with you ahead of time. There is a specific Medivh version of Juice Pirates that I'm thinking this might be actually insane in. If you know, like, ahead of time, okay, you know, like, maybe you're going to want to go and get that keep over there. I'm going to go fly across the map, but you guys are going to have that portal ready to go. That's just one example, but there's a million different ways you could use this trick to help your team out. And solo queue, maybe not super helpful, but definitely something to keep in mind. And also, one last consideration, this bug interaction only works, so you gotta press 1 for the portal. It only works if you press E for the second portal. If you try to press 1, I'm gonna go out of range here and try to press 1, and you see Medivh's gonna start flying back into range to try and cast it, but if I go and press E, it casts no problem. So that's bug number 2, interaction number 2 to keep in mind here. And then finally, this is actually a really new bug. The other 2 have been in the game for literally years. This one is just recently, as of this patch, we have Maiev. She got a few tweaks in the last patch here, alongside a lot of other characters, but the one we're going to focus on right now, let me get the other heroes out of here but keep the minions in place. The one we're going to focus on right now is this Pursuit of Vengeance. Now, if you don't know what Pursuit of Vengeance does, you don't really need to know the first half, but let's look at that second half. Each hero hit by Spirit of Vengeance reduces the cooldown of Umbral Bind by 1 second. So your Umbral Bind is the tether that you apply to all characters around you, and your Spirit of Vengeance is the shade you shoot out. Now, Pursuit of Vengeance says that it reduces the cooldown of Umbral Bind by 1 second for every hero hit, but as you can see, there are no heroes here. It's just me. I'm going to go ahead and W. You can see 14 right there. E the minion wave. And now I've got W again. This actually triggers off of literally anything right now. It's broken. This is probably going to get fixed next patch. But for right now, this is a pretty insane interaction. I'm going to go W this. And look, just to show you off anything, I'm going to hit these buildings. And you can see the cooldown reduction is triggering right there. I could go do it on these bruisers. Cooldown reduction, absolutely huge interaction. I'm not a Maiev main, so I couldn't tell you if this means that like all of a sudden Pursuit is the pick now, or if like you still want to go maybe Nicias for the macro. But that is absolutely something to keep in mind. And that is bug number 3. That one is for sure a bug because it's 100% going against the tooltip. But there you go. Go ahead and try some of these out in your games and let me know how it goes.